everybody, Dr. Jaime here, and you are about to listen to the Dr. Jaime Show audio experience. I hope you enjoy the tips and advice in this segment. Hey everyone, Dr. Jaime here with the Dr. Jaime Show audio experience, and today's audio experience is sponsored to you by On Point Executive Center, onpointexecutivecenter.com. Small business owners always can't afford all the luxuries of the large corporate entities. I know that personally. But on-point services allow you access when you need them. You pay for only what you use them for, and you leave the management and upkeep up to On Point Executive. onpointexecutivecenter.com. And today we are here with Debbie Lundberg, and she is the author of 10 books, DebbieLundberg.com, with Presenting Powerfully. And of the 10 books, today we are talking about one of my favorites, Leading Without Losing Your Femininity. Debbie, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome, Dr. Jaime. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're going to have a great time. I think a lot of women need to hear these principles. But, as I was reading through your book, I thought there are some principles even guys can kind of take from this. So I think women and men, you need to listen up during this segment. So kind of tell us a little bit of background behind the book. What's it about? How did you start it? And then let's go into some principles.
Absolutely. Thank you. A few years ago, I was thinking about doing a series of books, and I'll be brief. I surveyed people throughout the country. I get to present and speak in different areas, and so I thought there would be a series, and I'm not ashamed to say that I originally thought it would be called Women Stop Annoying Women, Women Stop Annoying Men, Men Stop Annoying Men, Men Stop Annoying Women. I thought it would be about these annoyances, little things that we do that perhaps set people off. And in my research, I was surprised to find that men were telling me, look, we don't really have these issues with each other, with men, and they gave us gave me some things that women could do, but they said they were primarily related to women with women. And then I got into responses from women, and they were saying things that men did, but a lot of it really focused on this idea that we are we have so much strength and so many opportunities, and yet sometimes we minimize ourselves or others by how we not only act ourselves but how we treat one another. And so instead of doing that series, I really focused on what are things, in particular in the book, the 40 things, and today I'll share 10, that we perhaps do that we don't realize, that we're losing our leadership. And we don't have to. We can still be feminine. We can still be very much who we are and lead with confidence and still be feminine. That's the background of the book.
I love it. And, I think it's important to know, and I just had a Dr. Jaime show, a 60-minute in-person show that we did last Friday with a leader in the community. And there are different, men and women lead differently. You can't just say men lead this way so women should lead this way, or women lead this way so men should lead this way. They have very different leadership styles and different things. There's different things that we should and shouldn't do. So I'm excited to hear about these 10. So can you jump right in and give us one or two of these?
Absolutely. When we think about femininity, let's think of it as the quality of being female, womanliness, right? So in that, if we think of the number 10 way to lead without losing femininity is to stop apologizing. And in these 10 that I'll share it, think of a traffic signal, something to stop, so that red, something to go for instead. And I'll tell you a little bit of the caution that takes place, meaning the research that I found. So number 10, stop apologizing and instead go for strategizing. Often women will apologize repeatedly. And when we say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, it comes from a really good place. It's not that we're not attempting to be very considerate, but what happens is if we say sorry for something small, perhaps getting in someone's way, instead of saying excuse me, and then we say sorry for something else, when we do have a large misstep, when we apologize, we've lost the impact. And so saying sorry repeatedly often gets someone having others feeling sorry for them. If we consistently, a quick example is, let's say you're at a supermarket and you're reaching for eggs while someone else is reaching for, I don't know, yogurt, and someone says, oh, sorry, you don't have to apologize for wanting to reach for something. Instead, it's, excuse me. And that small change makes a difference. Similarly, yes.
I was going to say I love that. And, I heard this years ago. Someone had told me to stop apologizing. Maybe it was a mentor. I forgot along the way. And one thing, all listeners, women especially, I encourage you to do, and this is what I ended up doing. I didn't realize how much I apologized. I was apologizing a million times a day. Pull your emails. Believe it or not, we even apologize in our emails. Someone might say, can we do this? Can we do that? Oh, I didn't get your email. And I would start out with, oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. And so that's one way that you can actually trap and see how often you say you're sorry.
Absolutely. And instead of saying, I'm sorry for that, no is a complete sentence and no thank you is a complete sentence. We don't have to apologize for not being interested or available. And secondly, to your point, which is terrific about checking your email, if something has been delayed, you can say thank you for your patience because you've likely explained the delay ahead of time. You don't have to apologize.
Excellent. I'm going to steal that line. So the next person that gets an email from me, thank you for your patience. You know that I got that from Debbie.
Thank you, Dr. Jaime. Now, number 9, stop attempting to please everyone. Instead, go for enjoying life with, through, and even in spite of those you know. What I mean by that is that Abraham Lincoln said, you can please some of the people some of the time, all of the people some of the time, some of the people all of the time, but you can never please all of the people all of the time. Think of how long ago that was said, and it's not that sometimes men don't do this, attempt to please people. Instead, though, there are a lot of women who, because of the wonderful nurturing characteristics and qualities, they're attempting to please, and they end up depleting themselves. So remember that it's not about everyone. It's about pleasing those who are in that reach, your circle of influence, clients, family, and then letting that be enough.
Okay. And I educate people on, or women specifically, we're people pleasers by nature. And so we're out to always, yes, we'll do that. Yes, I'll do that. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. But then you've got so many life roles and responsibilities. That's when you feel overwhelmed and you just shut down. So I love it. We don't need to please everybody.
We don't. And number 8, stop associating leadership with friendship, likability, or popularity. And instead, go for leading from a place of respect, for direction, and with consideration. What I mean by that is women often soften things. We want people to like us often, and we may soften some feedback. We may soften a request by saying, could you kind of? Well, let's not do that. Instead, leaders are not soft. If people develop friendships with us and they like us, that is a bonus. And of course, that's wonderful. Leaders don't need to be unliked or unfriendly, though. We want to go for respect by providing clear direction and consistency. That's number 8.
Okay, excellent. What's number 7?
Number 7, stop the, quote, do me a favor talk regarding work. And instead, go for, please provide me with, or I'm counting on you too. And where that comes from is favors sound like there's an option to it. And if we are talking about something within someone's role at work, we're not asking them a favor. This ties to that softening that we talked about earlier is work is based on your role and your commitment. And if we soften it and say, hey, do me a favor, it sounds like there's, number 1, an option, number 2, someone may keep score, and number 3, that it's not part of someone's responsibility. When we change that language to, I'm relying on you to do this, and I'm confident you will, people realize that that's part of the relationship and rapport, and it increases our relationship and our rapport. It doesn't minimize it. That's number 7.
That's excellent. That is so true. So often we say, can you do me a favor? Well, first off, that becomes a question. No, I can't do you the favor. I'm too busy. But if someone said to me, Jaime, I'm counting on you to do X, I feel like I have to muster up. Okay, it's time. She's counting on me. I need to perform and do well. So I love that. It's really, communication is so powerful, Debbie. The difference in one word.
Yes, thank you. And number 6, talk about words and communication. Stop the but, saying but or excuses, and instead go for the and the reasons. Remember, anything said before the word but is negated by the word but. So if I were to say, Dr. Jaime, this is terrific, but you may want to change something, you'll forget that I said something was terrific, not because you don't have a good memory. It's because that word but just inserts itself in our minds, and we only focus on what follows it. And means something is possible along with something else. To use the same example, if I said, Dr. Jaime, this was terrific, and you may want to incorporate X, Y, and Z, you will hear both of them. The other part of that is reasons. If I give you a reason, it happens before something doesn't go well. If I give you an excuse, it happens after. In other words, if someone's going to meet you for lunch at 12 o'clock and they call and say at 12:07, I'm running late, you could certainly say to them, I knew that 7 minutes ago. Now anything they say is an excuse. If they call you at 11:30 and say, please forgive me for a delay that will put me at 10 after 12, now it's very courteous because the other person has an opportunity to do something with that 40 minutes. As opposed to waiting. So we're talking about the word and thinking, am I providing reasons beforehand or excuses after? That's number 6.
Excellent.
Number 5, thank you, is stop with why questions. And I'm big on this, and people will really, no pun intended, question me on this. The minute we ask why questions, we start this between 17 months and 27 months as children. And it takes about a week or two for parents to start saying because. When we ask someone why this, why that, we're going to replace these why questions with what questions and how questions. And that's because why questions create defense. And if I asked you, why did you want to make this call at this time, or why are we doing this, no matter what, the majority of us get that little hair on the back of our neck standing up, and we will defend it. Whether we have a stake in the game or not, we'll defend it. But if I were to say, what made you decide to have our call today, and how does this time work for you, we would have a conversation. So why creates defense, what and how questions create conversation. That's number 5.
I couldn't have said it better. I say this to my clients all the time, especially, so not just like in the workforce, but especially even in relationships. So when you say to a spouse or a partner, why did you do that? Well, now they have to tell you why they did it. You're making them defend it. You're not even opening up to conversation. So excellent point for both the workforce and personal relationships.
Absolutely. Thank you. And similarly, just briefly with children, if a child, you know how kids are, they might pull the other child's hair or do something. And if you say, why did you do that? They just say, I don't know. And it's very heightened. Whereas if you said, what do you think was going to happen when you pulled your brother's hair, the child will stop and say, I thought you would be mad. I thought he would be hurt. They know how to answer that. So let's start it early as well.
Excellent.
So number 4 plays into that too. And I admit this is provocative and some people don't love this tip. If, though, we'll work through it, we can see the reasoning behind it. It's stop being a, quote, working mom and go for being your role. In other words, when we say as a working mom, while it's terrific and I'm not taking anything away from what women are doing, they're putting themselves in a position where that's defining a non-work role in a profession. So working mom, you're saying, think of me differently. Think of me in a special way or a different way, and not in a way that's enhancing. We usually say, well, as a working mom, I have to do da-da-da. So now they're saying, this is something that you have to consider me as, and think about me differently. The other part is I've not yet met a man who said, well, as a working dad, I have X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
The other part, if you're not a mom, or even if you are, another way to say this is stop with the purse, that purse that a lot of us carry, and go for the professionalism. And picture this, someone's digging in their purse and they're pulling out 12 things before they can get to their business card. So it's the idea behind both of these comments for number 4 is, let's not define ourselves by something outside of our profession. Let's be professional and incorporate our strengths as opposed to calling out our differences.
Yeah, especially if you're leading. That's the key here. So maybe if you're chatting with a friend, you could say something like that here and there, that you're, it's hard to be a mom and working. But I think when you're actually leading, you're leading a team of people, you're in the workforce, you don't need to be talking like, I am a working mom. I don't say that. I'm a life coach. Now, people things I do. I'm also a mom. I'm also an author. But I'm not like I'm a working author. I don't.
Exactly. And you don't say I'm a golfing author if you're a golfer. Right. I mean, we don't bring these things in other capacities. You're right.
Right. Yeah.
You're right. So number 3, please stop attempting to be the first, best, or only woman who did X, Y, or Z. And instead go for being the best you and the best leader. While it's terrific and we want to continue to break through glass ceilings and make opportunities for others, sadly, in my research, I saw a fair number of when people got through things, they liked that recognition, that title, the only or the best, and we may limit ourselves unknowingly and not include other women. And also, when I get asked to speak or do coachings or trainings for groups, and they'll say, oh, you'll like it, it's a women's group, I often respond with, I'll like it if it's a group of the best, whether they're women or men, because we also, while we want to lead without losing our femininity, we don't want to lead and exclude men. It's not about that. So let's collaborate instead of compromising and think about how do we strengthen our voice, and are we sometimes separating ourselves into a women's group and creating a competition as opposed to ensuring that we're lifting each other up, doing things that support one another, and recognizing a person for her personal accomplishments and not tagging it consistently as the first or only woman.
Yeah, and I think that, I hate to bring this up, and you talked about on the last one, this could be, people might get frustrated with this, but women can be catty. Women can not bring up other women at times, and I think it's very important to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with, like you said, the best, the people that want to bring you up, that want to help you, that want to collaborate, share ideas. And it's great to incorporate men into these things because we can learn from them, they can learn from us, and vice versa. Everybody has something great to say or value that they can add, and one statement someone can make can open your mind to leading a completely different way or seeing a perspective or a reality in a completely different manner. So I love that tip. Thank you.
Positively. You're welcome, and well said. It leads beautifully into number 2, that and I was going to bring that up, so thank you, because it's great timing. Stop gossiping or assuming and go for gathering and setting expectations, and that's that cattiness. Women speak, and this has consistently been proven through research year over year, women speak more words per day than men do. And that in and of itself means we have an opportunity to either positively impact or negatively impact people more. And gossip, although multiple times throughout my career I've asked people what are the key attributes for a leader, and never once has anybody ever said, I would want my leader to be a gossip. I would want my leader to be catty. No. So if you want to spread rumors, go ahead. Just spread good, true, positive rumors. You don't have to stop spreading rumors. Just make sure that they're true, that they're put people in good light, and that it's about lifting people up and not putting them down. And that's the way to lead without losing your femininity, number 2. Our last,
Debbie, I just want to tell you, real quick on what you just said. Something so powerful to me that I will remember and probably share with people. Obviously, I knew without research that women speak more words than men. My husband would completely agree with that because that's what we do. But what I like that you said is that because we use more words, we can positively or negatively impact people more. Mm-hmm. That is so powerful, and we have to remember as women, we do talk a lot and converse and interact a lot, and we have to realize what we're saying really impacts people and maybe their confidence levels, their success, the path that they take. So that was fabulous, and I'm going to share that with other people. Thank you, Debbie.
You're welcome. I love it. Please do share it. And our number one of the 10 out of the 40 from the book, the number one way to lead without losing your femininity is to stop the giggle, the wiggle, and the jiggle. Yes, I say that, and go for the sizzle. Remember who you are right now, not who you wish you were, not somebody from your past, not if you were younger or older, but you are the sizzle when you have the confidence. And so lead with your knowledge, your talent, your experience. Have a strong voice and the confidence and clarity. We don't want to have this, when somebody makes a comment, if it's inappropriate or uncomfortable, sadly, often women will giggle. And I've talked to so many women who do this, and they say, it's because I'm uncomfortable. And my response is to say to the person, well, I can appreciate what you may have meant. I'm sure that's not what you wanted to say. And give a person a chance to correct him or herself. Sometimes we're uncomfortable by things women say, but the giggling doesn't happen with men. And not that we're attempting to be men or masculine. It's just if you're in the professional world and you're leading, a giggle doesn't get you farther. Nor does this wiggle of how sometimes people use their bodies. I had a client recently, a male client. He said, I'm very uncomfortable with this woman who's going to be on at this particular event because she is very suggestive with her body, and it's uncomfortable. And while, unfortunately, sometimes people think that works, it may only get you attention, but it doesn't get you the respect. And then the jiggle, and people laugh like you did when I say it. Let's keep everything in order, ladies. I mean, we can get things right underneath our clothes so that while you may look fabulous and you want to and you have every right to look and feel terrific, let's not let things distract us from what we're really there for, distract others from what we can do. I like to say let nobody destroy your leadership, and let no body, not your body, yourself, how you present it, destroy your leadership either. And that is the number one way to lead without losing your femininity.
Oh my goodness, I love these tips. I love these points. And so if we want the remaining 30, Debbie, where can we go to get your Leading Without Losing Your Femininity book?
Thanks for asking. Right at DebbieLundberg.com. There is one of the pages on the website has direct links to buying all of the books, including Leading Without Losing Your Femininity.
That is awesome. And Debbie, you just came out with a new networking book, and when can we possibly peek into that book?
Oh, yes, thank you. Beyond Networking 101, it's 101 do's and don'ts, similar to what I just covered, but do's and don'ts to move from simply card collecting to truly connecting. And that is in for the final edits, and it will be available before November 1st. I'm going to say November 1st because that will certainly get us there, and it will also be available at DebbieLundberg.com.
Awesome. Debbie, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome, Dr. Jaime. Thank you for having me.
Everybody, you are listening to the Dr. Jaime audio experience. Today we had on Debbie Lundberg, DebbieLundberg.com with Presenting Powerfully. This audio experience was sponsored by On Point Executive Center today, OnPointExecutiveCenter.com. Do me a favor and go to YouTube and iTunes. Subscribe to the Dr. Jaime channel. And as always, go ahead and leave us a comment with your favorite takeaway from this particular episode. Everybody have an awesome day, and remember to lead with your knowledge and be confident.
Thank you so much for listening to the Dr. Jaime Show audio experience. I really hope that you enjoyed the tips and advice given on today's segment. Do me a favor and go to iTunes and my YouTube, and please subscribe to that channel. Every subscribe, every like, every follow helps the Dr. Jaime Show grow so that we can bring you the best guest and the best content possible. And of course, as always, if you have any feedback, feel free to leave that as well. Talk to you soon.